military has missed its recruiting target by around 41,000 recruits during fiscal year 2023. Now, over the past 3 years, they've seen active personnel drop by around 64,000 people. This makes the military now at it's the smallest point it has been in over 80 years. You could read into that, you could make assumptions about why that might be happening, but Eddie Gallagher, who you might remember as the retired Navy SEAL who faced trial for alleged war crimes and now runs the Pipe Hitter Foundation, has some thoughts about what might be behind the drop in recruiting. In a new op-ed in The Hill, he writes, "It really should come as no surprise that our current military is having trouble bringing in new recruits. The lingering impacts of politicized vaccine mandates, as well as story after story about troops being brainwashed with divisive ideologies like woke gender theory and critical race theory, are damaging morale and discouraging potential volunteers. President Biden's Pentagon brass seem more interested now about making sure that our military personnel are socially indoctrinated than that they are lethal." Now, the DoD surveys potential recruits on a biannual basis to get a better understanding about why people may or may not enlist in the military. And would it surprise you if I told you that critical race theory and woke gender ideology do not make that list? Here is what the DoD found in their most recent survey. So you could see the #1 reason why people would not enlist is the possibility of physical injury or death, and that's at 70% of respondents. The possibility of PTSD or other emotional or psychological issues is 65%, leaving their family and friends, other career interests, dislike of military lifestyle. The list goes on, but it's exactly what you might imagine. Now, Cenk and Brett, why do you think we're seeing a decline in military recruitment? And why is it critical race theory?
I was gonna go with the gay nutcracker that I heard about on Fox News.
Horrifying.
Yeah, I mean, they're soldiers, right? The nutcrackers, yeah, I've seen it, right? And then you got the black disabled, I don't know if that's got to do with this story or, but I do know that when somebody's considering going in the military, they're like, well, I could get my legs blown off, but I'm not concerned about that. But did someone say the military's open to gay people also serving? Oh, forget about it. Okay, come on. And it's an insult to all these people who join the military, who are in the groups that apparently these right-wingers don't like. And so they're willing to die for the rest of us, but oh no, I still don't want you. And if we excluded you, then we'd ironically have more people in the military? Okay, riddle me that. But the right wing never tries to make sense, and the numbers are obvious and clear, and Jordan just gave them to you, and it's obvious logic. If you asked me to go to war, I wouldn't be worried about if the military is woke or not woke. I'd be worried about getting my ass blown out, right? That is a weird way of saying it. Back to woke politics. So seriously, guys, come on. And right wingers, I'm asking you to use whatever brain power you got. Sorry for being a jerk about it, but you really think that the guys that are thinking of signing up for the military and going to war are worried about they're woke or not woke? Come on, man. Just use some common sense.
Well, we don't have a clear adversary, I would say, to rally around. And that goes hand in glove with the thing that used to be the best recruiter of all recruiters besides mandatory conscription, which is big movies where we blow stuff up and they're still getting made, and Maverick was a huge blockbuster and that appeals to people. Another thing you do that's really, really great is you don't provide free college to people, but if they do go into military service, you do provide free college so they can, quote, be all they can be. For that, you don't tell them what they gotta do, where it's basically like you thought student debt was difficult, otherwise, wait till we deploy you your 5th time against a non-clear adversary. But yeah, and when this guy, Eddie Gallagher, I love that it's Eddie Gallagher. And Jordan, you're so right, the pipe hitters.
It's amazing.
It's like pipe fitter, are you trying to say pipe fitter? I hope so, because otherwise you're trying to say maybe pipe Hitler, but no, pipe hitter, it's smoking weed, and I'm supposed to take you seriously at this point? I take you more seriously in discussion about medical marijuana, but the reason you're seeing story after story, Eddie, is because people like you keep running story after story after like a single commercial where it's like, this woman has 2 moms and she's in the military. Meanwhile, I turn on college football, it's the Army-Navy game, and every 5 minutes there's another ad where they go from the President of the United States going meh, to an ad where I can either join the Army, the Navy, or the SEALs, but no matter where I go, I get a really awesome like camo thing, or if I see a computer, I'll be like, I won't even see the field at all. I'll be in a computer room playing Battleship remotely. It'll be great. We do plenty of recruiting.
Yeah, look, I can't complain about pipe hitter after I mangled that last thing about how to say things. Anyways, look, guys, the other thing is Brett hit on a really good point, which is if I thought we were going to get attacked here, and our lives and my family's life's on the line, our community, et cetera, is on the line, I'd be the first to sign up. But if you say, hey, go to Iraq and invade a random country and maybe die so that Halliburton can make more money, no interest at all. So it makes a difference that we haven't been defending the homeland in decades. All we've been doing is going and attacking other countries, oftentimes for no reason at all other than some corporation is gonna make money. Dying for some random multinational corporation is not on my bingo card.
A couple other things I do want to point out. So I hear you and I agree with you. There's not a national rallying moment, but also I think the way people have consumed war over the past several years has awakened them to the realities of conflict. To go back to your propaganda point, Brett, it has been heavily sanitized for decades. People would consume war maybe through an occasional nightly news segment, but then mostly through movies and television. Social media, smartphones, that totally changed the landscape for how people see and understand war and relate to it. I think that's a factor. But I also think there's a point that we need to mention. He's talking about vaccine mandates. Do you know how many vaccines you have to get to enlist in the military? Do you think that is what's putting people off of joining? You have to get 17 vaccines to enlist in the military. That is not a factor. He's doing this to make a career in right-wing media because his brand had been tarnished because of allegedly doing these things that he didn't ever really get punished for. But he is a pariah in some aspects of military media, military commentary, and he figures, hey, if I can just push the culture war narrative, maybe I'll find opportunities that way. It's such an easy grift for anybody to exploit.
And Jamie Raskin had another point, and if you want to see the full video, go to TYT Investigates, youtube.com/TYT Investigates reports, or just look for TYT Investigates on YouTube. Producer Josh has been doing an amazing job over there. But Raskin says, listen, it's not because of woke politics, it's because people in the military, despite all the stuff that they say they give you for college, they can't afford to survive. They need some other job, they're not getting paid enough. So we're not even paying the soldiers enough, and that in the giant swollen military budget that we have, we can't put food on the table of the soldiers who ostensibly are fighting for our right to put food on everybody else's table by keeping America safe and involved in commerce.
Yeah, we're encroaching a $1 trillion military budget.
Which is awesome.
We're not,
which I love.
We can do it, guys. We pulled out of 2 wars. We are not engaged directly in anything. Recruitment personnel is at its lowest point in over 80 years, and the budget continues to go up. How does this make sense? No, we're just enriching defense contractors and their shareholders.
Yeah, it got to a point where now the Navy's building new ships, but as he even points out, Gallagher does in his article, they might not have any guys to put on the ships. So we're building all this useless stuff because the defense contractors get paid off of it, and they get rich and they share a tiny percentage with the corrupt politicians. That's why it grows to $1 trillion. But they forgot to pay the service members because they're not donors, they're not political donors. So now they don't have enough guys to man all the junk that they built. But I'm gonna give the last word to one of our members because we do this show with the members. TYT.com/join to become a member, or hit the join button below on YouTube. Funkin' for Fun wrote, what? They don't know that there's gay people in the Navy?
In the Navy.
Okay, if that's news to you and you just found that out, man, this world is gonna be full of surprises for you. Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below because that makes you a member. And members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.